I saw this movie called Hacksaw Ridge, and it's this movie about a soldier named Desmond Doss. And Desmond wasn't your average soldier. He wasn't a regular soldier. He was a soldier that didn't carry any weapons because he didn't want to hurt anyone. And yeah, the other soldiers, they laughed at him. They made fun of him because what kind of soldier doesn't carry around a weapon to fight the bad guys with? But when the battle came, while the other soldiers were shooting their guns at the enemy, Desmond was running around the battlefield and he was picking up the injured soldiers and he was carrying them to safety. And that day, Desmond saved 75 people. 75 soldiers. Isn't that amazing? And this is a true story. Desmond Doss actually exists. And when he went home, the army gave him the Medal of Honor. They honored Desmond and showed their respect for Desmond. Actually, this Medal of Honor is the greatest gift that the army could ever give to a brave soldier. And so by giving Desmond this Medal of Honor, they were showing him how much they honored him and how much they thanked him for everything he did on the battlefield, for saving so many lives, and for who he was. As people, many times we try to honor great people. We honor kings and presidents by naming places after them or building big statues of them. Sometimes we honor musicians and actors by giving them rewards and giving them money. Many times we honor people because we think they're really great. But what about Jesus? Jesus is greater than any person ever. He's actually greater than all the people combined. Jesus is God. But how? How do we as people honor Jesus? Well, today our story is about a woman named Mary. And it's not that Mary you're thinking about. It's not the Mary, the mother of Jesus. But it's actually a different Mary. And our story tells us about how Mary honors Jesus and thanks Jesus for who he is and all that he's done. And so this is what our Bible says in John chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. Jesus came to a place called Bethany, where his friend actually recently just died. But when Jesus went to Bethany, what he did was he raised Lazarus from the dead. And so, in our passage today, it shows us that they were having a dinner. They were having actually a party to celebrate and to honor Jesus for everything that he did for them, for raising Lazarus from the dead. Actually, in our story, we see Mary, and Mary's actually the sister of Lazarus. She must have been so happy to see that Jesus raised her brother from the dead. She must have been jumping up and down all over the walls because she was so happy. She must have been so thankful to Jesus. But that wasn't the only thing she was feeling. Actually, she was starting to realize something. What kind of person could do all these miracles that Jesus was doing? What kind of person could raise somebody from the dead? And so Mary, she was starting to realize that Jesus is not any ordinary man. He's not some normal kind of person. Jesus is more. He's greater than any person she's ever met. She's starting to see that Jesus is God. Maybe she doesn't see 100% that Jesus is God. Maybe she doesn't fully see that Jesus is God. But she's starting to see that Jesus is more worthy of all of our honor and thankfulness than any person we've ever met, any person we know. Jesus is more worthy than Desmond, who saved 75 people. More worthy than any pop star or king or president. He's more worthy than anyone or anything. Jesus should be getting millions of medals of honor. He should be getting millions of statues and rewards, and he should be getting all the fame because he's so much greater than any man to ever live. Jesus is God. So now Mary comes out and she comes to Jesus to honor him and to thank him for Lazarus by pouring this perfume on his feet and drying his feet with her hair. But you might ask, what's so special about this perfume? Why is this perfume such a big deal? Well, it's because that perfume was really, really expensive. Actually, you would have to work every single day for a whole year just to buy it. In today's money, it would cost around $25,000. You know you could buy 83 Nintendo Switches with that money? 83! And so this wasn't some normal perfume. Mary was coming to Jesus with her best. She was coming to Jesus with all that she had, the most expensive perfume that anyone could buy, and she cleaned his feet with her clean hair. She was giving her all to Jesus. She was giving her best to Jesus to honor him and to thank him for everything that he's done. But what about us? When we read the Bible, we see that Jesus is God. We see that Jesus is the God that created the whole universe. He has the world in his hand. He has control over every part of it, and he has control over our lives. And this incredible, perfect God came down to this earth not to take over and conquer it, but to lay down his life for us, to save us like he saved Lazarus. He came down to this earth to save you and me, so that one day we can have a big celebration, a big party like they did in our passage today. But it's not going to be any old birthday party or celebration. It's going to be the greatest, happiest celebration ever in heaven with Jesus. And just like Mary honored and thanked Jesus by giving all she had to him, by giving him her very, very best, we should remember to do the same thing. We should remember to give our very, very best to Jesus, to honor him and to thank him for saving us from death. Does it have to be perfume? Does it have to be some expensive item that we give to Jesus? No, it doesn't. Jesus doesn't care what we actually give to him. Jesus cares about our hearts. He cares that we are giving our best to Jesus. All Jesus asks us to do is to give him our best. But you may ask, Pastor Phil, I don't really have any money or things that I can give to Jesus like Mary did. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be expensive things that we give to Jesus to give our best to Jesus. We can give Jesus our best by trying our very hardest to do things like read the Bible, trying our hardest at lunch to clean up after ourselves and each other, and to get water when it's our turn, and to clean up for everyone when it's our turn. We can try our best during worship to sing loud and proud and to do the motions with energy and love. We can even try our best and give our best to Jesus by going to school and studying as hard as we can, or being as kind and as loving as we can to those around us. There's so many ways to give our best to Jesus. Try to think of some ways too. And before we honor or thank any person on earth, let's honor and thank Jesus for who he is and how great he is. Let's not give Jesus our 10% or 20%. Let's give Jesus our 110% of our best, just like Mary did when she poured her perfume on his feet. Boys and girls, Jesus deserves so much more than our best. He deserves so much more than just our best that we can't even hope to give it to Jesus. But because Jesus is such a loving and gracious God, all he asks of us is to give our all to him. All he asks of us is to give him our best. And so, let's honor Jesus for who he is and how great of a God he is. And let's thank Jesus for all that he's done for us and for saving us by dying on the cross for us, by giving him our very best. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for this week's video. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned that we can honor and thank Jesus by giving him our very best. And so don't forget to do your Bible study for this week, and I'm going to see each and every one of you at 1 o'clock today, okay? I mentioned it last week, and I told your parents yesterday, and I sent them the link to go to our Zoom meeting at 1 o'clock today. From now on, every Sunday, we're going to have Zoom meetings at 1 o'clock, okay? 1 o'clock. I'm excited to see all of you. It's been a really long time, and so I hope to see each and every one of you in our Zoom meeting today, okay? It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited, okay? See ya!